This is Ian Crane. It's a beautiful spring morning here. It's a tad warmer than it was a couple of hours ago. But here I was out for an early morning drive, driving down the A634 here between Blythe and Barnby Moor. And imagine my surprise when I stumbled across a lock-on here at the Tinker Lane well site in North Nottinghamshire. And of course this is one of two iGas FRACK pads under construction. iGas, for the first time, not trying to deceive the local population, completely open and frank about their intention, which is to establish a pad here, quite a sizable pad, not quite as large as Quadrillas at PNR, but certainly about 4 times the size of KM8 at Kirkby Misperton. And of course, this is about 7-8 miles away to the south of Misson Springs. And apparently, when our lock-on crew here lay down, security came out with the same old chestnut that they always offer, which is, well, there's no deliveries today. And of course, the response to that is correct. There will indeed be no deliveries today. So we've heard that one once or twice before, and of course, you know, here we are on the really last working day before the Easter break, and funnily enough, the site is very quiet. No earth-moving equipment going on, because bottom line is no one's going in or out of this site today. And you know, so apparently they're here now, waiting for Notts Police, if they even bother to turn up, and we'll see what transpires. But this part of Nottinghamshire is a tough area to get people motivated. There have been, you know, a regular few people coming down to Tinker Lane. Unfortunately, there's been times when there's just been one local person here on their own. And at Misson Springs, again, you know, quite often in the early morning, it's just one local person there. And obviously the camp is there to support. But, you know, there's a lot going on at Prestonby Road, and obviously the Kirkby Misperton camp has, you know, nearly come to the end of the cleaning process, and people are taking a break after a long campaign at Kirkby Misperton. A very, very successful campaign at Kirkby Misperton. And one of the prime reasons that the campaign at Kirkby Misperton was so successful was because the community got engaged. And, you know, we're still very much at the front end here of raising awareness. Obviously, the pads are being constructed, and, you know, they haven't yet reached the stage of actually moving infrastructure, drilling equipment onto the site. Once that occurs, then, you know, maybe the people in Blythe who are going to see these convoys come through their community might actually start to take an interest in what's occurring here. And of course, you know, this area, this is the southeastern quadrant of the Bowland Shale, and INEOS in particular will be taking, you know, great interest in the core sample analysis from the wells drilled here, because whatever it is that iGas extract from those core samples, the information they extract will be absolutely relevant to INEOS just a few miles to the southwest of here in Derbyshire and South Yorkshire. So it's really all to play for. Apparently there are a few people coming up from Nottingham today. Apparently they were heading towards Misson Springs. Well, they might actually want to stop by Tinker Lane. But please don't put Tinker Lane into your sat-nav, because it'll take you to a farm track. It's, I think, a deliberate attempt to get people to go to the wrong location. So we are on the A634 between Blythe and Barnby Moor. So you come off the A1 if you're coming in that direction, and head towards Blythe, and then the 634 towards Barnby Moor. And it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. I think some rain was forecast, but right now it's an absolutely glorious morning. So it's the perfect morning to take a ride out and come visit the lock-on here at Tinker Lane. So let's go and have a chat with the people here, and we'll see what's occurring. So there are some familiar faces. Don't you realise if you're in South Yorkshire that gets you arrested?
Yeah, what's all that about?
So yeah, so apparently the noise level a lot lower than the chainsaws, but
yeah. Taxi for iGas.
So apparently they were correct in their observation that nothing's coming in or out today.
I think it was a very astute observation.
It's shut down. It's well and truly shut down.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's good reason to shut it down. Doesn't matter how much money there is in it. If it's going to poison the young, you know, it's a no-go, I'm afraid. It's got to be.
It's got to be done, isn't it? Now,
yeah.
you might have done this once or twice before, I believe.
Well, yeah, it's a long journey, but honestly, I can't encourage people to kind of get involved enough. There are many things that need to do. Chip in where you can, and you know, enjoy the wonderful people that you meet along the way. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's confusing, but it really is worth it. Generations will be thanking you in the future if we win this. So.
And we have to win it.
Well, we've got no choice.
Exactly. Well, you know, 5 years into this project, well, for over 5 years since the moratorium was lifted, and it's not looking very good for the industry, is it?
Well, no. I mean, you were talking earlier on about how the share prices are low. My concern is with share prices is that the government have put in public sector pensions into it, and I think that's a disgrace. I think even some of the police pensions have been put into it. So you know, whether that's connected to some of the behaviour, you know, it makes them impartial. It makes them partial instead. You know, I mean, nothing's impartial all the way, but it makes them more partial to some of the mistreatment that people have been receiving from them. So, but saying that, don't worry about it. Like the truth is already with us. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you know, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, but if I was, I might actually have a punt on this being shut down by the end of the year.
Well, we hope so. It should have been shut down yesterday.
Or actually 5 years ago.
Exactly. We shouldn't be getting this far. All of the countries surrounding England have got a moratorium on them, or they've banned them. Like you know, there's a reason for this. You know, and if the Crown think that our lives are not worthy of life, so all of their interests can make money, then you know you got it wrong. Absolutely wrong.
Well, I think the people of Nottinghamshire, I mean, I have to say, the people of Nottinghamshire are a tough audience. you know, really.
There's a lot of heart in Nottinghamshire. There is a lot of heart in Nottinghamshire. I think, like with the cities which are further out from London, it's hard for them to see some of the harms which are going on, because a lot of them seem conceptual. They're not. They manifest physically, but this is something which is manifesting physically, and you'll see it's the same kind of players as the tax haven class. You know, a lot of these sites, they're fed money through tax havens. You know, so like some of the companies are held in negative equity in Britain, so that they can just collapse themselves when the going gets bad, whatever eventuality that might be. So,
absolutely. Yeah. So, what's your message to the people of Nottingham?
To the people of Nottingham.
Nottinghamshire, the county.
Nottinghamshire, Nottingham, wherever you are, come out for your children. You know, represent for a hopeful future for your loved ones, because you know they're obviously not doing it.
Absolutely. Well, hey, thanks for stepping up to the plate today.
Oh, well, it's an absolute pleasure. Everyone's been blinding. Everyone's been absolutely brilliant, and there's a lot of heart. There's a lot of heart out there, and we've got to express it.
And apparently Nick had a word with his boss, and he's laid on some decent weather today.
Yeah. Thanks for that, man. Like, yeah. Well, it's nice. It's nice and warm. I mean, this ain't about that. This is about people doing, you know, getting ordinary folk. There's a history. There's a British history. It's got an anarchist bent, but because people have had to find ways of surviving, they've also had to grow their agency together in order to do that. There's a history, an honourable history of people with civil disobedience that goes through generation and generation, and it's really, really important that people remember that. Like, some of the good things that exist are because of those fights.
And that's the good thing, isn't it? That, I mean, this whole
campaign has been about peaceful campaigning, peaceful protest.
It's about mitigating harm. We're trying to mitigate
Exactly.
harm. I mean, you can't emphasise that enough. We're mitigating harm. You know, there are other things that need to happen, like on a grand scale, in terms of energy infrastructure, which is healthy for everyone. Why not? Why isn't that a strong enough reason?
It's free. That's why.
Because ultimately you can create abundance, and the share price, you know, they can't make as much money out of it. Well, if we keep our rivers clean, you know, that means some industries can't do what they do, you know. But that's okay, you know. Like we can retrain. We can come together. There's a lot of localized food production that needs to take place, you know. But let's make it good for people.
We've got to change the focus from corporate greed to
well-being.
the community.
Well-being, community is here. Community is here.
Well, hopefully the Nottinghamshire community will come. Now, apparently you were just walking along the road and stumbled across this device.
Yeah, I got my hands
and you stuck your arms in it.
I thought I was going to Spain.
Stuck your arms in it, and now you can't get out. Apparently. Now, this is a familiar face to many in the anti-fracking campaign. I think this is rather a familiar position for you, isn't it? Now, but you've been challenging this industry very, very effectively for the last few years, Ben.
Well, it needs to be challenged. It just needs to be challenged. There's no alternative. There's no other way, as he was saying. There's no other way than just placing yourself on the line and saying no, because we are on the final leg. We're in the 12th round, and their legs are wobbling. But we need to throw the last haymakers, and we'll have it ended by summer, by Christmas for sure. They are on the last legs, and I do think we'll win. But we've got to keep going.
You have been an absolute trooper in this campaign. I mean, since we first met at Barton Moss, and I think you have something like 19 arrests under your belt.
19 arrests.
So today makes it 20 probably.
Yeah.
Unless Notts Police are feeling benevolent, which I won't be holding my breath on.
They've not turned up yet.
Or maybe they won't.
Yeah.
Maybe they won't. But so that would be number 20.
We're not going anywhere.
No.
So.
But out of that 20 arrest or 19 arrests so far, how many convictions have you actually?
Two convictions.
2 convictions. So 2 convictions out of 19 arrests. I would say that's pretty good odds, isn't it?
Yeah,
well,
but
you shouldn't be arrested in the first place.
It's testament to the mistreatment by the police, and
absolutely
just how spuriously they will arrest you. And this here is a result of the police failing to facilitate in any kind, way, shape or form peaceful protests here. There's been local ladies, single local, 1 or 2 local ladies here just watching what iGas are doing. All they want to do is a token protest in front of the lorries, and they're not getting it. It's completely unacceptable, and it's policing like that results in direct action like this. Because we'll have a protest one way or the other. Whether they'll allow us a protest or not, we're going to have a protest.
Well, I also want to make the observation, I have before, but you have shown the degree of solidarity in this campaign. When you were in court recently with another group that had locked on, and the judge tried to take a couple of the people's licence away, and you actually stood up and said, well, if you're taking their licence away, you take mine away as well, and got the whole thing thrown out, basically.
That's right. The judge, in all of his summing up, was going on that it was a joint venture. So I'm going to deal with you all the same. And at the end, he's gone, except you 4. You were locked on for a bit longer, so I'm going to give you driving bans. Can the rest of you get out, please?
They've tried.
And I stood up and said, I'll have one of them. You said joint venture, and then his legs started
to wobble. He balked, didn't he?
Yeah.
No, well done. I mean, that was a fantastic piece of initiative, thinking on your feet there, and an absolutely tremendous example of the solidarity within the anti-fracking community.
Exactly, they can't jail us all.
No, you're absolutely right, although they might try some point, but that'll just work in our favour anyway. Yeah. So anyway, listen guys, I think you're probably in for the long haul here today.
Yeah, I hope
and
so.
Who knows, maybe Notts Police don't turn up, and
we're not going anywhere.
And we'll just have a picnic.
Get a job.
Get a job.
So there you go. And so the support crew here from the Mist and Springs Protection Camp, apparently, and people come over from other parts of the country.
So now all we need is people from the local area. So like I said, you know, there have been a few people that have been absolutely devoted to being down here, to monitoring what goes in, what goes out, and obviously trying to spread the word in their communities. Now, I don't know what it is about Nottinghamshire, or the fact that, you know, South Yorkshire is just a few miles that way, or Lincolnshire is just a few miles that way, but, you know, we have 2 frack pads being constructed here in North Nottinghamshire. And obviously iGas, like I said, there's no attempt to mislead here. They've stated categorically that once they've drilled these wells, once they've done the analysis of the core samples, they have every intention of fracking. Well, of course, Third Energy made exactly the same observation about Kirby Misperton, and maybe iGas should contact Third Energy or Barclays Bank and ask them how that worked out for them. So ultimately, what shut down Barclays Bank trading as Third Energy at Kirby Misperton was the community coming together, and the community using its collective creativity to launch a multi-pronged attack. And of course, ultimately, it was their finances that was their Achilles heel. And obviously that's something that's not going to be addressed in 5 minutes. So yesterday I was up at Kirby Misperton, just removing the last pieces of kit there to bring down to Mission Springs. The camp is pretty much almost cleared there, and within the next couple of weeks it'll be returned to the landowner in at least as good a condition as it was when we took it on December 20th, 2016. So that was a tremendous success, and communities right across the country should take heart from that. That, you know, basically just literally 4 months ago, it looked like Kirby Misperton was going to be the first location to be fracked in the UK since the moratorium was lifted in December 2012. Now, the likelihood of Kirby Misperton being fracked this year is slim to none. And who knows, because there is now a tremendous growth in community awareness, and people are coming together to look for other Achilles heels that Third Energy may have. So again, if I was a betting man, I would say that I don't think Kirby Misperton is going to be fracked anytime soon. And hopefully we'll be able to say the same about these 2 iGas well sites here in Nottinghamshire. You know, some of the suppliers are already trying the dirty tricks. We've had a couple of them try and serve the INEOS injunction on the protectors here. Well, good luck with that, because this isn't an INEOS site, it's an iGas site. And although the suppliers may well be on INEOS's suppliers list, the injunction has absolutely no relevance to them when they are delivering to an iGas site. So basically, you know, you can take your injunction and you know, put it where the sun don't shine. So the challenge now, of course, is to bring the people of Nottinghamshire and the people of South Yorkshire and Lincolnshire over the border here, because if iGas can be stopped from fracking here in Nottinghamshire, then that's going to send a massive message to all the other companies, INEOS in particular, who have every intention of drilling and fracking throughout this beautiful part of northern England sometime soon. But like I have said previously, my sense is that the government is losing enthusiasm for this agenda, and they are actually giving us the ammunition that we need to be able to get this shut down. So it's very much up to each and every one of us. So the police have just arrived here, and no doubt they've stopped in the no stopping zone. So one rule for them. And yeah, we'll see what transpires. So there will be live streams being broadcast throughout the day. Check out the Mission Springs Protection Camp page, and if you'd like to make a contribution to supporting the Mission Springs Protection Camp, then I'll put a link to the PayPal account under this video. But it's MSPC 2018, MSPC 2018 at hotmail.com, and that's the camp PayPal account. So thanks again for joining me today, and you know, we'll maybe do a little bit of live stream when the police start to do their initial analysis of what they're encompassing here. So I'll just leave the live stream running just as the police come through. Good morning.
Fantastic. A lot better than yesterday morning.
Good. A bit heavy.
Well, there is that, isn't there?
Yeah.
And there's this as well.
I thought since we noticed that your traffic management plan seemed to be going a bit awry and a bit shabby, we thought we'd come in and help you out with it and show you how it's done.
Oh, it's very nice of you. So what's your plans for today then? Just enjoy
the sunshine.
Enjoy the sunshine. How long are you thinking of staying here for?
Yeah.
All day?
All night.
We're
all week if we have to.
Just enjoying the sunshine, you know.
You're just going to enjoy the sunshine?
Yeah. Good. Interesting device you got there, gentlemen.
Yeah. Apparently you stumbled across it, didn't you?
I thought I was going to Spain.
Yeah, just a slip. You slipped in front of a place which is going to poison a lot of people.
Well, I guess we're about to find out whether the Nottinghamshire removal team are taking an early Easter break. Anyway, that's the status. That's Nottinghamshire Police, and the officer on the ground is Sergeant Attenborough, Sergeant 2213, Sergeant Attenborough. So he's coordinating with Operation Parmitate, decide whether or not just to let them enjoy the sun for the day or to call out the removal team. So like I said, anyway, check on the live streams, check on Missing Springs Protection Camp or my Facebook page. And I'm not going to do a live stream over the weekend. I'm going to give everybody a break, including me. So I may well do an impromptu live stream later on in the day. We'll see what transpires. But otherwise, I shall be maybe take a bit of a longer break. But I'll keep you posted, and we'll see what happens. But you have a wonderful Easter, and if you are anywhere in the vicinity of Blythe or Barnby Moor in Nottinghamshire, South Yorkshire, if you're in South Yorkshire or Lincolnshire, please come over and support the lock-on crew here on the A634, the Tinker Lane well site of iGas. And if you're posting on the iGas stock forums, then please let the investors know that basically they're throwing money down a black hole, literally and metaphorically. And I'll catch you later.